Yeah, this weapon ain't that good. I ain't gonna lie, bro. For a special grade weapon that you get from a boss drop that rarely spawns, a boss that rarely spawns, yeah, it ain't that good. It ain't that. You're better off just using cursed daggers, and I'm gonna go into that in a sec. But if you don't know, Kaizen finally dropped an update on their game. Okay, the update 0.5, I think. I really don't know. And in the update, they gave us a new map, basically new quests, stuff like that. We all knew what was gonna come in the update. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you start off the game and the max level is on 100, we basically knew what was gonna come. Okay, but with the new maps and everything, they added two new bosses, which is the world boss Ura Ome, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and the big eyes golem. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys right here. Okay, so those are the two bosses, or two new bosses that they added into the game. And alongside the two bosses that they dropped in the update is this weapon you're seeing in my hand right here, which you are able to get from the Uraome boss. It is a grade 1 weapon that scales off of the weapon skill tree. All right, because I know some people were thinking that, oh, the weapon scales from melee. It doesn't scale from melee, it scales from weapon. It's a weapon. Okay, and so a couple of quick tips for grinding Urome. Have two private servers, one in your main account and one in a substitute account that you can alternate from, because it's a lot better to spam the boss in private servers, because they dropped an update sometime that made her spawn time in private servers a lot earlier. Okay, and if you're alternating between your two servers, anytime you join in the other private server, you basically restart the server over again. So she basically spawns every single time you join the next server. Okay, so that's just a quick tip that helped me grind this boss a lot faster. Because if you are in a public server, she rarely spawns. Okay, she rarely spawns. So make sure you are using a private server to grind the boss. Okay, and remember to alternate between the servers. So that's basically it for like the update. There's really nothing much to it. But okay, to showcase the weapon, let me just showcase the moves first, and then I'm gonna talk about why I said that the weapon is not as good as I expected it to be. Alright, so the X skill, alright, the X is basically like an auto tracking spike that comes out of the floor. Really good combo extender. It's blockable though, but it's a really good combo extender. And for some reason, it stuns the NPCs as well anytime I use it. Like if I use it right there, you see it stuns them a little bit. So that's also really good too for fighting these NPCs. And then this one right here is actually my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Even though it does knockback, it does a good amount of damage. All right. And then the last one, which is triangle, is basically like a gap closer. You just dash forward and then slash them and knock them back. Okay. So those are the three skills with the claws. Okay. And I'm gonna just show you guys the M1s real quick. The M1s are pretty fast. I ain't gonna lie. I like it. All right, so we're just gonna break this down to like the good things about the weapon and then the bad things about the weapon. Okay, so the bad thing that you're gonna notice about this weapon is that it literally does no damage. Okay, for a special grade, just to prove it to you guys that it is a special grade, for a special grade weapon, it does no damage. I am not kidding. The fact that the max level is even level 50 even makes it even worse. Okay, I thought it was gonna be like level 60, level 100, like the cursed daggers. Of my cursed daggers is not maxed out yet, but like it does no damage. Like for example, let me just show you guys my M1 damage. Okay, okay. All right, so we're just gonna M1 this NPC. As you can see, I do 30 M1s, 30 to 31, and then to 29 M1s. Okay, watch what happens when I equip the cursed daggers. Okay, so I'm just gonna equip the cursed dagger. Mind you, the cursed daggers are still at level 47. Their mastery is still at 47. It's not even maxed yet. All right, I think the max level is like 60 or beyond that. All right, just look at how much M1 damage I do real quick. All right, without using any skills, I do 50 M1s. All right, as you can see, some of them were like 51, 49, but like the main it's 50. You see 54 too. All right, and that is cursed daggers at mastery 47, and the ice daggers at mastery 50 does only 30 M1s. That is insane to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a special grade that you get as a drop from a boss, a world boss to be exact, meaning that it's twice as hard to get than curse daggers, and curse daggers does a lot more damage than it. Okay, so that is the main reason why I think the weapon is not that good. Number two is that it has too many knockbacks. All right, I'm saying this one is just like a personal thing I don't like about it. Is like, why does the last two move knockback? But I mean, I'm using glacier right here, or ice, whatever you guys are gonna call it. So it's really not a bother for me. But if you're using a curse technique that can't combo into that, you're gonna have a lot of problems with the knockbacks. Okay, now for the good side about it, all right, because I do kind of like the weapon. Okay, it's that number one, you get some really insane stat buffs. Okay, right now I have I think I get +5 or +6 from Kugisaki. Okay, and then right here, okay, you see this plus right here, I get +6 or +5 from Kugisaki, and then the rest is all from the weapon. Okay, now if you don't know, you're able to get increased stats from the weapon the more mastery you gain, or the better the weapon is. And as you can see, I get 18 +18. That is actually really good for doing those extra damage, but it doesn't really make any difference. Okay, because you still don't do as much damage as curse daggers. The skills though do a ton of damage. Okay, the skills itself do a ton of damage. I think that's where that reflects, but like the M1s, it doesn't really reflect that much. Okay, so that's one good thing about it. And the second is that it's just really good for grinding. I'm not kidding. Like the fact that you have two skills that stun these NPCs, the normal NPCs, by the way, not like the big bosses, because if you don't know, the big bosses, they don't get stunned. But like just having two skills that stun, as you can see, like they also combo extend each other too. That's actually really freaking nice. All right, and I'm running ice. If you don't know, ice is probably one of the abilities that does the most damage in this game. That's a big plus in my book. I ain't gonna lie. All right, so for those of you who are visual learners and didn't want to watch me yap, I'm just gonna show you guys what I mean by the damage. This thing does no damage. Okay, so we're just gonna only use the weapon and see how long it takes us to defeat the Cyclops. Okay, I'm kind of selling there. I should not let it hit me. All right, we're getting somewhere. Bro, this is taking way too long, bro. When I was using curse daggers, it did not take this long. What the heck, bro? This is taking way longer than I expected. Because I have ice, I always used to like end the Cyclops like really fast. So I didn't have to do all that extra stuff. But this is okay, this is taking way too long, bro. Okay, bro. We're about to die. Yeah, bro. That takes way longer than I expected. All right, just for people who don't know, this I'm gonna pull up a clip of me using the curse daggers right now, and you're gonna see that it literally takes less than a minute. Okay, like this doesn't do as much damage. You're better off just using the curse daggers. I ain't gonna lie, just use the curse daggers. They're way better. Okay, if you're trying to get this, I mean, you still can if you want to, but the curse daggers are still better. All right, so yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.